startled. Now tell me, are you here to retrieve a specific enchantment, or simply to observe the restoration process? Either is perfectly welcome. Today, I'm working with a series of bindings sealed over 200 years ago. Some of them still carry a pulse. This scroll I'm unsealing now is bound in salt-laced linen and whisper thread. That tells me it likely contains memory work, emotionally reactive. I'll have to be gentle as I unfold it. Feel that the air around it shifts like a breath being held. That's the enchantment, sensing presence. We'll start with a soft binding chant. Don't worry, it's non-reactive. It simply signals that we're opening the document with care and consent. Verlin Fawcett Menda Arali. There, it loosened. Do you see the runes glowing faintly now? The ink used here is dusk root paste infused with silver leaf essence. It only becomes visible under quiet. That's why we whisper in this wing of the archive. Too much noise, and the enchantments retreat. It's a protective instinct, like a bird folding in its wings. I'll trace the lines here with a starlit stylus, delicate enough to read the magical imprint without disturbing it. Each rune holds a vibration scroll into a stasis sheath. The fabric is woven from memory silk, nothing too tight, just enough to hold its aura in place. Some scrolls don't like to be sealed again after opening, but this one is cooperative. I can feel it settling. Let me show you a different piece now. This one is bound in bark script, carved directly onto the inner bark of a living whisperwood tree, then removed with a song of consent. These are rare. The grain of the wood interacts with the enchantment, making it resonate deeper. I'll read this one aloud, just the beginning. When breath met root and stone sang sky, the circle was mended. It's a healing incantation. Beautiful, isn't it? You can almost hear the cadence of the forest it came from. Enchantments like this are very grounding. Even now, the scent of moss and loam lingers faintly in the green. Each piece I archive tells a story, not just in its words, but in the way it was shaped, stored, forgotten, and then remembered. This one, for instance, has been dormant for over a century. The moment I touched it, I felt it stir, not aggressively, just curious. Sometimes I think the enchantments remember more than we do. When I was an apprentice, I opened a scroll that hadn't been touched in 400 years, and it whispered my name. Not out loud, but I felt it, like a name being thought in a dream. That was the day I knew this was my calling. I believe the magic in these documents chooses its caretakers. Not everyone can hear it or feel it, but those who can, like you perhaps, are drawn here by more than curiosity. There's a resonance, a calling. Do you feel it? This next item is not a scroll, but a sigil tablet, etched stone, scribed with auric pressure instead of tools. To read it, we'll use a gentle prism light like this one. I angle it just so, and the symbols begin to shift, not physically, but in energy. They reveal their intention one layer at a time. This sigil governed safe passage through dream realms. It was part of a protective anchor spell cast by the Nightwalkers Guild centuries ago. Still potent, still steady. I find comfort in that, the persistence of intention through time. Even stone holds compassion when it's shaped by care. Now I'll record my observations in the ledger. My notes are written in silver script. It reflects emotion while maintaining clarity, a sort of empathic record keeping. You'll notice the ink shifts tone slightly depending on the enchantment's mood. Would you like to try scribing a rune? Here, take this stylus. Start with a simple glyph. This one means peaceful reflection. Press lightly, no more than This is how we honor the past, not by preserving dust, but by tending to the living memory of magic. You're welcome to visit anytime. Perhaps next time we'll explore the Dreamweave texts or the Mirrored Glyph series. For now, I'll return these to their resting places. Each scroll, each stone, each whisper, they know they are seen, and that is powerful. Walk gently